Quitting drinking can often feel overwhelming. But what if your first few days could be exciting and empowering? I'm Kevin O'Hara. I quit drinking 12 years ago, and I've coached thousands of people using these exact strategies. Here are 5 practical tips to make your first week alcohol-free a game changer. Let's dive in. So let's kick the reframing off with this. Quitting drinking shouldn't be about misery. It should be about being full of hope for the journey ahead, looking forward, not back. This is one of the best decisions you'll ever make. I can't think of one single decision that I've made that was better than this one. So why not enjoy it from day one? How often have you heard that stopping means something's wrong with you? An illness, bad genes, a flaw. That's what we're taught. But think about it. Why is alcohol the only drug where quitting means you have a problem? All the pain that you have right now, it's from your past drinking, not the choices that you're making to stop now. And there's enough evidence right now to show that even small amounts of alcohol harm your health. And the evidence is only going one way. So here's a switch. Quitting isn't about disease, it's a smart move. You're trading pain for a life of real meaning, real happiness, real contentment. If I could take you out to your first year celebration, you'd see how much your life has changed. More control, better health, a big smile on your face for what you have achieved. So in that first week, don't doubt your decision. You've already passed a huge milestone, seeing the alcohol for what it is, a toxin, and you've taken your first steps to getting it out of your life. That's a massive reason to pat yourself on the back and be happy. Next, we'll make this journey manageable, one step at a time.
This next one is about focus. When you're quitting drinking, it's easy to get stuck in the idea of never drinking again, of never being able to drink alcohol no matter what happens in your life, right? Thinking about never drinking again or thinking about forever is just this huge concept that is scary and can trigger a lot of fear, a lot of doubt in people's minds. And the reason is because even though you've officially stopped drinking, you're still a drinker. You're still operating under all the wiring of that habit, and it takes a while to clear that. You know, this is a long-term goal. I'm a football fan, and whenever the Arsenal manager is asked about the championship in general, where they are in the table, about a game that's gone or a game that's going to happen in a couple of weeks' time, he always says, look, we're focused on the next game, and that's it. And I think it's such a great mindset to have, and one that we should adopt in our lives in general. You can't control anything that might happen in a month or 6 months or a year down the road. So start focusing on today and then plan just what is going to happen in the next week. What are you going to do tomorrow? What are you going to do the day after that? How about the weekend? Grab a pen, write down one thing that you're going to do instead of drinking, like watching a movie, taking a walk, and then just take things one day at a time, 1 week at a time. By 30 days, you'll just be seeing the world differently. Within 6 months, 12 months, you'd be able to say to yourself, I'm never drinking again, with a big smile on your face, because you'll believe it. It becomes a pleasure to say that instead of a pain, because you're no longer living under that drinker's brain. You're no longer living under that identity. That whole identity has collapsed, and then you're able to move on. Now, another big problem that gets people in those first few days is anticipating the cravings.
Cravings can feel like they're arriving close to us, but they don't. They're just single moments, and they're often tied to negative feelings like anxiety. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is worrying about imaginary cravings. These are cravings that may or may not happen at some time in the future. Maybe you'll feel a craving when you come home from work. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll feel a craving when you're with this person or that person. Maybe you won't. I've had clients who are worrying about cravings happening months away. So they imagine a future event, a future party, a future vacation, and they start to feel the discomfort now. That's a bit like feeling guilty about your past drinking, just in reverse. This is taking what they did in the past, projecting it into the future, and worrying about it in the present. You can't control tomorrow's feelings, so don't take them on until you need to. You have enough to deal with right now. Instead, deal with the cravings that are happening now in the moment. Try this. Take 5 deep breaths, name the feeling. So you just say to yourself, this is just a little bit of anxiety, and start to shift the focus. So go for a walk, call a mate, have a drink of water. Just like we focus on 1 week at a time, handle one craving at a time, one moment at a time.
It's a natural thing for any human being to avoid discomfort, right? We want to have a nice life. We want to have a comfortable life. But when you're making a big change happen, especially something like quitting drinking alcohol is a huge change, Feeling uncomfortable is part of that process, and it means that you are changing. Cravings, urges, any unease, they're just signs that you're on the right track. So don't fight them, accept them as part of the journey and aim to minimize their impact as much as possible. You know, one of the best ways of dealing with any discomfort in this journey is to first deal with the triggers. Think about what a craving is. It's just your old habits triggers firing and expecting to have a drink following up, right? So one of my regular drinking scenarios was coming home from work. I arrive in the door, roughly the same time, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. I go to the fridge, I take out a beer, I sit in my chair and I relax. And that's signifies the end of the day and all the other things that it signifies, right? The time of the day and the coming home. These are triggers that you can't really avoid, right? 5 o'clock in the evening is going to come whether you like it or not. And at some stage, you have to come home. The beer in the fridge or the easy chair, these are micro triggers. When you have the triggers firing off at the same time, each adds to the urge. You know, you're not satisfying the urge, and that creates a little bit of stress, which fuels more urges, and you get this mini cascade which causes problems. But here's the thing, you're in control. When the discomfort hits, all you have to do is say to yourself, look, this is normal. It's proof that I'm changing. Take a deep breath, focus on the things that you're gaining in your life. 1 or 2 of the things is all you have to do. Wind the clock forward in your head and think about sleeping better tonight, or even better, waking up in the morning without a hangover, waking up with a clear head. Also, expecting discomfort and being good about it. Thinking about it as the price of entry into the life that you want to live. It normalizes that feeling of being uncomfortable. It's a transformational way of thinking because it makes you strong in the moment and stronger in the long term. So try it out. Stand in front of the mirror, name the discomfort, say that it's normal, tell yourself that it's normal, and just breathe through it.
You're rewriting all those stories that you're telling yourself. Next, we'll tackle those micro triggers in one simple move. Now, most people will only start drinking towards later on in the afternoon or early evening. So that's when the main triggers are going to fire off. I call this trigger hour. As I said in the last tip, we're all creatures of habit. And if your drinking routine is pretty much the same, like mine was, coming home from work at 5 p.m., seeing the beer in the fridge, sitting in my easy chair, you're going to have situations where clusters of triggers are firing off at the same time. So the best strategy then is to evade the entire situation. You can't change the time, 5 p.m. is going to come, but you can change the place and the routine. And for me, it was really simple. When I finished work, I went for a walk. No overthinking, just out the door. So at about the time that your trigger hour is hitting, get out, walk, visit the park, do anything that takes you away from the place where those trigger clusters are firing off. Like we said in the earlier tips, focus on the moment, get through that hour, and you're going to be stronger and stronger every single day. Now, you can download our Sober Kickstart kit below. It will help you, give you a couple of tools that will help you to get started off. And all of this stuff is really meant to get you ready to quit drinking alcohol with confidence. So have fun. You're making a smart choice. Focus on 1 week at a time. Take on the cravings moment by moment. Embrace any discomfort as a process, as a progress. You're making progress. Outsmart your triggers by evading that one thing, the trigger hour. And each step is going to build a stronger and a happier you. Take care. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.